Merry Christmas to everyone. And today's video is going to be what it truly means to open our hearts. And this topic is pretty suitable for today's theme of Christmas, because Christmas is all about opening our hearts. It's about the spirit of caring and sharing. But the question is, are we only limited in our human potential to share and care only on certain days of the year? Or is it our essential nature to care and share and celebrate each day of our year as a Christmas celebration of sharing and caring with each other? So I'm just going to channel some information about heart energy, because heart is a center of love, and Christmas celebrates the spirit of love and unconditional love and sharing. So what it truly means to open our hearts is all about what it feels like, what is our reference of truly opening our hearts when it comes to unconditional love. Now, when our heart is authentically open, and we can experience the reference of true heart opening when we are able to work on our fears, anxieties, and anything that separates us from others. So if we are living through the judgments which separate us from others, that is not a sign of truly open heart, because our anxiety or our fears, they are creating a divide between us and others, between me and others, because my ego-based fear has overtaken the space of an opened heart, and it has kind of shadowed the energy of unconditional love and projected it onto the outer world. So it's very important to understand that unless we learn to work on ourselves and we work consciously on where are we judgmental, where is my ego interfering and taking over, where are my fears taking over in my interactions with others, whether they are related to me or they are not related to me. So it becomes a little challenging when it comes to the people who are closer to you. Even I think it is not easy. It is very challenging when your ego is operating from the principles of attachment, and your fears and insecurities related to the people you love and you are attached to may interfere as well in opening your heart to them. Because I give you a very simple example of a mom and a child, that how the little children, when they're doing certain actions, the caring and nurturing moms, they become so anxious that the child might not hurt himself or herself if he's running around unnoticed in the room, and there are a lot of things in that room. So she may have that anxiety. The child might hit himself or herself. So which is a very genuine thing to observe. But if it is done in a way that is making the mom anxious, and it is over projected on the child in a way that the child is getting scolded by the mom, and it is interfering with the child's freedom to act, then it becomes kind of a fear-based action instead of a heart-based action. So the similar thing, if the mom's heart is open and she is open to see her own anxiety around this thing, she will behave and act in a totally different way. She will invite the child and let the child decide by giving a feedback, or giving a feedback to the child in a way that the child makes a decision about something that is dangerous for him or her, depending upon the age of the child, of course. So maybe that's not a very clear example, but it's something that I'm trying to hit upon is that when we are giving feedback or responding to the people around us from our overactive intellectual and mind chatter, which is anxious and which is arising from our ego-based personalities, then it brings a stoppage to the function of truly opening our hearts to others in an unconditional way. So, what are the conditions that can allow us to open our heart to others in an authentic way? And for that, the first important thing is understanding that it is a it is a process of growth, and it is not something that happens overnight. Everyone has to work on themselves to open their hearts authentically. It's a lot of inner work, and conscious effort is required if you truly want to go into the space of an open-hearted consciousness, because open-hearted consciousness is free from anxieties and fears. And it's not that it's 100% free from anxieties and fears, because it's survival brain and its mechanisms are always active in the background. But when you make a conscious choice to work and reflect on your own fears and anxieties and how they're projected on the people either you're related to or you're not related to onto others, that will give you a lot of information to start working on opening your own heart centers and how to work on your own fears and anxieties and understanding your own sense of self from the perspective of having healthy boundaries in your relationships as well as boundaries with others in different contexts is very important when it comes to opening your heart, because a lot of times we don't have a healthy sense of boundaries around our needs and wants and our and how to interact within that context in relationship to others. It requires a lot of work, a conscious work, to start accumulating that information and working on your own emotions from those filters. And a lot of emotional work is needed, inner work is needed before your heart can really authentically open in the humility of being one and seeing that oneness in others and operating from a space of non-judgment. So when we do this work, automatically your system will be transforming from the energy of judgment will be getting neutralized and alchemized into self-compassion and the other compassion. So when we come into that state of opening our heart into self-compassion and other compassion and understanding and gaining knowledge around our own sense of self and where are we reactive in life, how our survival brain and our ego personalities are keeping us in the loop of reactions and triggers, what triggers a reaction in my body and mind. When we begin to pay attention to those small signals in everyday life, we begin to accumulate a lot of data, and that data helps us in understanding how we're trying to make meaning, how our heart is interacting with the outer world, how we are trying to make meaning of the things, where are the things hurting my heart, and how I choose to protect my heart. What are the strategies my survival brain is using to protect my heart? Are these strategies healthy strategies, or are these strategies further separating me from others and bringing me into a withdrawal mode where I stop myself or stop my life force energy from flowing forward with a sense of self compassion and understanding of others and their condition as other compassion. And it's all about accountability when you're doing this work and separating others from your emotional content and taking full responsibility for working on your own emotions, because the heart is the center of your emotions. So if you are not processing your emotions in a healthy way, or if you have not learned the skills and strategies to process your emotions in a healthy way, which are free from judgment, while you're also taking care of your needs, which are the genuine needs based upon your true values, then only our heart space begin to generate that sense of love which is free from judgment, and have compassion even for the people who at times your ego might perceive as not kind to you. You will be able to project compassion to them also, as they are also the sum total of their life situations, their circumstances. So it's all about trusting the basic goodness of each human being and bringing ourselves to start evaluating our reactions towards others from that lens of self compassion and other compassion. And that requires understanding the reactions of the ego based personalities when our ego is not resonating in the high vibrational frequencies. It's not that when you're operating from self-compassion or other compassion, you don't have ego is always present so far as we're alive, but it is the question of having a healthy ego and unhealthy ego. When our fears and insecurities take over our reactions and decisions and choices in life, then we are operating from that unhealthy sense of ego, that where our survival brain is making decisions based upon perceived danger or even imagined danger. So it's very important to understand also how our nervous system works, because nowadays there is a lot of information available that could help us to understand how our autonomic nervous system operates under fear and insecurity. And it is happening at such a quick speed and underneath our consciousness that even we are not aware what the things that we say and do when we are overtaken by anger or insecurity may damage us and our relationship to others. So it's very important that where are we manipulative? Sometimes our anger could be passive, that makes people manipulative in the ways they create their story around certain people. So it's all about your narratives, and energy of heart is the energy of love. And I believe that we can truly give love to others when we have worked on ourselves and learned what it truly means to be present and to be in a presence to ourselves first. When we have learned to be present to our values, our true authentic values, and our needs, and can nourish and feed our soul, then only we feel that sense of wholesomeness. And when we have a reference of that sense of wholesomeness, then we are in a space. From that reference, we can project unconditional love to the outer world and to other people, and truly go not into that space of tit for tat, but we are in that space where we are able to forgive others for the things that you might not like, but you have that innate knowing and awareness now that they are accountable for their actions, and they might be undergoing certain situations or circumstances that have made them like that. And secondly, it comes to taking accountability for your growth, self growth. If people around you are not keen on their self growth, or they are not keen by choice, or their circumstances are not allowing them to work on themselves, it is not your responsibility. Having that clear boundary is very, very important if you are on the path of self growth and consciously growing each day. So this is all for today's video, and I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you in another video. Do subscribe if you haven't yet, and if you would like to hear more from me. Love you all. Bye bye.